Welcome, welcome, Dr. Allen. Welcome. We had some issues with YouTube, but we are on and we are on live. So thank you again, Dr. Allen, for taking the time to come and to be a part of this wonderful moment. I have so looked forward to this time. So let me just introduce Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen is a retired psychiatrist. He's a consultant in whole person wellness and healthcare. He's a consultant and advocate in church-based health and healing ministries. As a student at UWI, at University of the West Indies, Mona, a lot of us knew about Dr. Allen because he was head of the student health clinic, the psychiatric division. And he has this wonderful organization called Whole Person Growth Facility, which facilitates overcoming and well living through whole person development. I like the use of the word whole person. You know, John 10:10 talks about abundant life, the fact that, you know, Jesus came so that we could have abundant life. And whole person development is about the entire man. He provides education, workshops, group experiences, and promotes advocacy for healing communities. And by communities, we're talking about families, institutions, churches, and neighborhoods. One unknown fact about Dr. Allen is that he wrote this wonderful book called Transforming Health. And interestingly, my pastor, Dr. Chuck Pierce, quotes from his book, in his own book called A Time to Defeat the Devil. And in that book, he says, the ways people think, feel, relate, and manage their lifestyles can maim and even kill. But divine healing and renewed hope can transcend normal healing processes. Divine forgiveness, reconciliation, deliverance, restoration, and renewal bring healing. Where God reigns, there is healing. Wholeness comes not by treating, but by healing. And these are the words of this wonderful gentleman, Dr. E. Anthony Allen, who I have here with me, and I'm so excited. Dr. Allen, I'm going to bowl my first question to you. And the first question is, what would you say are the cornerstones of communication for healthy relationships?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, that it's good to be here and on this podcast. And I congratulate you for beginning what will be a new journey for all our followers. So the first cornerstone for communication, effective communication for health relationships, you know, the cornerstones are, first of all, one needs to engage versus avoid. Everything takes time. The Lord created the world in 7 days, as the Bible says. Yes. To build an airplane takes time. You just don't put it together and fly it. So any relationship, whether it is marriage, parent-child, friendship, workplace, neighbor, any relationship to be successful requires the giving and receiving of messages. Amen. And mutual exchange to share, and that takes time. Yes. If you don't find the time for it, then it's like, you know, eating food and the body is going to shrivel away. Your relationship is going to shrivel away. Yes. If you don't get that time to engage. Secondly, that one has to focus on listening.
Mm.
Listening is the most important thing in communication. And listening involving empathy. Because if somebody tries to communicate and you're doing all the talking, how are you going to know what's in the other person's mind? What's paining them? What's concerning them? And one of the greatest needs that people have is to be understood.
Indeed.
All of us want to be understood. And we want to know that people feel and understand our pain, where we are coming from. So we need to listen, not just to the facts that the person is saying, right? Not just to their person's opinions,
yes,
but to their feelings. So we can appreciate, because the feelings are most important, right? So listening with empathy. And the other thing is that one needs to be an active participant, that you can help the person to talk by saying, tell me more about it. You know, it seems to me that you've really had a bad time. You reflect back the feelings. You really seem to have been hurt. So they know you know how hurt you've been feeling, you know?
yes,
And then you say, tell me more about what happened. So it encourages them not to talk more and more and more. You see?
yes,
So these are what you call leading skills. That you
yes,
can help them to lead them on to share more and more. So you have to be just sit down there and, but be an active participant to,
yes,
to express the empathy, to let them lead them on to share more and more. And the last thing is in terms of the cornerstone. That is not a good thing to try to communicate when we are angry, when we are upset. Because when you are upset, the brain isn't working properly. And we are likely to shoot off our mouths and say things we didn't intend to say.
yes,
And then everything just, as we say, mash up, everything just goes bad. So don't try to communicate when you're upset. Try
yes,
to find a time when you're calm, you can think clearly, and you're aiming for a goal, aiming to reach a common goal, aiming to get closer, aiming to go further.
yes.
So you have to be in the best state of mind.
As you're talking, Dr. Allen, I was thinking about the fact that some of us work remotely, and communicating is a little more challenging, because even we're having to communicate through the computer, and the question is, are we able to really and truly communicate effectively when we have all this technology that we're having to work with these days? I don't know if you want to just throw something in there, and how we can probably make sure. Yes.
I think if we're going to show empathy and understanding, even through the telephone or through the different media devices, it will still go a far way. A lot of young people now are glued to the phone because they're getting all kind of messages. For example, some people, young women, and I don't want to stereotype, are concerned about body size. And some of the aged people on social media, they empathize with this, but for the wrong reason, right? And they may want to sell products or whatever it is.
True.
And then they may say, oh, you want to have a slim body, etc., etc. And then they get young people hooked on wanting to lose weight, and that can lead to disastrous results. Somebody may be of a particular party, and they empathize with this, and they may send all kind of messages to kind of capture your mind about that party. So these people on social media, these institutions, they use empathy, but in a wrong way, you know, and they still try to get, they can be quite effective. So we who are seeking to help people grow and aim for whole person health,
Yes.
we also have to find ways and means of sharing empathy, giving the feedback, and using all the techniques
Yes.
to make it work. It can be done, but we have to work on it.
Indeed. And that, you know, if I were to ask you one aspect of communicating for healthy relationships, what would you say is the most important aspect of it?
I think the most important aspect is, as I've been talking about, is empathy. Is being able to understand a person's feelings, to feel with somebody. You know, right now you are sharing a sense of understanding and approving of what I am saying. So I'm picking up your feelings.
Yes.
About that, and I feel, well, okay, she's understanding what I'm saying, so I feel good. Yes. So yeah, we're working on a feeling level right now. You see?
Right.
So yes. So once we can keep that empathy going, you know, you must feel bad because of that accident you had the other day. You know, and and you lost some money. You know, it's going to be difficult now for you to find money for your meals. It must be difficult. People want to be understood. People want to be understood, and for others to know how they feel, one of the greatest needs of human beings.
Oh, wow. That's powerful, Dr. Allen. That whole thing about empathy, you know, just listening and wanting, because, you know, I think a lot of the conversations that we have are just people. Today I was in a restaurant, and there was this man sitting with, you know, two ladies and two children, two girls. And we were just amazed. I mean, he was on his phone for the entire, the whole time he was there. And he was so disconnected from them. You know, we were like, is he a husband? You know, is he a friend? But, you know, that's what we find nowadays, that people are at restaurants, and even the children, you know, they're on their phones, the parents are on their phones, and, you know, what kind of bonding can be developed in these kinds of settings?
Exactly, because loneliness now, I think in America, the Surgeon General has put out that loneliness is probably the greatest epidemic now in the United States. And it has a serious effect on people's stress level, a serious effect on people's health, as serious as alcohol and cigarettes, right? So it's a very difficult thing. You know, people who are elderly, for example, you know, little children who they feel their parents don't have time for them. But if somebody can just say, hey, come here, you know, how you doing? What a nice, look, how your hair look nice, and their face light up, you know? Or people who are elderly and say you must feel lonely when all your children abroad, or when your friends have died off. Must be difficult for you, eh? You know, so they feel that they are understood.
Yeah.
And that is most important.
Very important, Dr. Allen, that you know, and as you say, for healthy relationships, because as you say, there are people who will communicate for unhealthy relationships, and you know, so we have the flip of that, where, you know, people, when you look at all the scammers and how they've managed to capture the attention of these people and able to get money out of their pockets through what one would consider to be an unhealthy relationship. but it's the same, it's through communicating with empathy. Because a lot of these, I don't know if you've ever seen it, Dr. Ali, where these people, they don't want to lose the relationship even after they're found that, you know, there's something wrong.
Yes, these scammers, they are geniuses, you know.
That's it.
And they know the people are elderly. They know they are lonely, and they say, you know, grandma, you're very lonely and your children are gone away and it must be very difficult. You have nobody to talk to.
That's
But
it.
I'll be here for you. Anything you want to say. And you find that some of these elderly people, they now almost become addicted to these young scammers. And they will send money and whatever to maintain that connection.
Yeah.
You know, so an empathetic connection.
And they
is
know about
useful.
empathy. They
Yes.
use empathy. And, you know, we're not using it effectively, you know, as it ought to be used, you know.
Yes. So what we need to say is empathy that is meant for the person's good.
Exactly.
Because, you know, you have people who are narcissists and they are concerned about themselves, you know, but they know how to manipulate and they can put on an act that they can pretend that they care about that person.
Exactly.
Especially in the early parts of a relationship when they want to capture somebody.
Yes.
And man, they're the nicest people that you know.
Yes.
And they will say, boy, what, you know, I know how you feel. And they will make you feel that, boy, this person knows everything, how this person cares, you know?
Yes, yes.
So this empathy has got to be for good and directed at the person's welfare.
Indeed.
Not directed at what I'm getting out of it. So it really has got to be consistent and it has got to flow towards the growth of the other person.
Yes, yes.
So you can't just take a snapshot of it, but you have to follow the direction to see how is it going, where is it leading, you know, is it
and that's
leading
the
that?
point, Dr. Allen. What are those red flags? You know, I mean, how can you know that this empathic listening that this person is doing, you know, is it really because they love me or is it really because they care? You know, and that is so hard to be able to pick up. But then over to you.
It will be followed by action, consistent action over time. And that is what is important.
And I remember in one of my sessions with you, Dr. Allen, you said, don't listen to what people say. Look at what they do.
Exactly.
I remember you saying that to me, Dr. Allen, so clear.
Exactly.
You said, don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. What is their action?
Yes. So in a sense, what we are saying is that action is one of the greatest parts of communication. Action.
Indeed,
you know,
indeed.
Not just mouths.
Yes,
but action.
Action.
In the long run.
Not a bag of mouth, as Jamaicans say. Yes.
But of course, if somebody is not showing any empathy at all, you know that action isn't going to happen.
Exactly.
So that's a red flag. But at the same time,
yes,
when there's the empathy, accept it, but keep looking now to see if it's consistent and where is the action going to come.
Indeed.
So that is a mixture of it.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Allen, you know, we're coming close to the end of this, and it's been such an exciting time for me. Just every time I sit in your presence, you know, there's so much wisdom and there's so much that I gain, you know, just even the refreshers, you know, don't just listen to what people say. Look at what they do. What is their action? You know,
yes.
very important. Yes, Dr. Allen. So, I'm at the end. I don't know if you want to just summarize and to say any last words before we go.
Well, one last word I would say, is that a very important aspect of communication, certainly that I try to use in life, is to put myself in the other person's place. Because unless I can put myself in the other person's place,
yes,
I'm going to be talking about my interest, how I see it, and what, how things appear to me.
Yes.
And it will never be appropriate unless I can put myself in my mind in the other person's place.
Yes.
How are they feeling? What is their parents like? Where they live, the poverty level, or whether they are rich or their ethnic issues, all kind of things to know about the person and locate the person and then be able to put myself. So I'm not talking about what I feel like should be the case, and what I think you should do, and how I think you should act, and how I want you to act. Because all these things I'm putting, my views, my opinions, could be painful and offensive to you.
Yes.
Because you're in quite a different place, and I could be saying things that could be very hurtful because you have had a particular type of trauma. If I know the trauma that you have been through and I put myself in your place, then I'll be careful how I talk.
Indeed.
And what I bring up and how I deal with it.
Yes.
And how I can be comforting or affirming.
Yes.
I can only be affirming to anybody if I can put myself in their place.
Indeed. Indeed. And it's so hard sometimes to put yourself in that person's face because everybody's life is so complex and so different.
Exactly.
And they have different experiences. And,
yes.
And you're thinking that you kind of understand them, but a lot of times it's almost impossible to understand.
But that is why listening is important.
It's so important.
And empathizing is important.
Yes.
And taking the time to listen is important, so you can know where the person is.
Indeed.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So thank you again, Dr. Allen. That was refreshing. Just a nice, quick shot. I'm hoping we can come back again and do some more, but this was just so inspiring, so refreshing, empathic listening, just making sure that the empathic listening is followed up by action. And also putting ourselves in the shoe of the other person. Very, very important. And so with those three quips, if you don't remember anything else, remember empathic listening, remember action, which backs up the empathic listening, and also putting yourself in the shoe of the other person. So thank you, everybody. Sorry about the issues we had with YouTube, but we will have that sorted out next time. Thank you so much. Goodbye.